Hello there everybody, the Shadow Beam here to discuss the third tier slot of perks in Black Ops 2 and the 10-point system in Black Ops 2. Alright, if you missed the last video, I discussed the first two perk slot tiers, and there will be a link to that video in the description. And if you want to follow along with me reading down the perks, then there will be a link to the website with all the perks in the description. So first we start out with this dexterity. This allows you to climb ladders and mantle objects 50% faster. And you can also aim faster after sprinting and recover quicker from melee strikes. I think this perk is a little weak. I think they need to buff it a little bit. I personally won't be using it a lot. I don't find it to be that good. And then the next perk is Engineer. This is kind of like sit rep in the way it lets you see equipment through walls. And then any equipment that you trigger has a delay on it, kind of like Stalker Pro from the last game. And then you can also booby trap care packages or re-roll care package content and hope that it's something better. The re-roll is kind of like Hardline Pro from Black Ops 1. I really like that. And not only that, you can booby trap care packages. I'm going to infer that means there's no fake care packages in this game. But that's going to be a lot of fun. That seems like a fun perk to use, and I'm definitely going to be using it some. Then we move on to Dead Silence. Reduces the noise you make from footsteps, jumps, and falls. This is always going to be one of the most used perks in the game. It's really good, and it stops people from just listening to you with their Turtle Beaches, Astros, Tritons, or anything of that nature. Then next on we move to Extreme Conditioning. This allows you to sprint 2 times longer than normal, which gains a significant field advantage. I'm going to infer that the pro of this perk, if there is pros in the next game, is going to be allowing you to sprint unlimited. I could see how this could be helpful, but if you're rushing, then you're probably going to need Dead Silence also, but we'll get to that in the 10-point system in a minute. And then Tactical Mask. This was really good in the last game. Makes you only reduces the effects of flashes and concussion grenades, and it reduces the effect of shock charges. It depends how overpowered shock charges are and how much people use them. Is going to be the debating factor whether I use this or not. I could definitely use this in domination while capping the B flag or something. This could be helpful. And then Awareness. This is kind of like Sit Rep Pro. It makes enemy footsteps 4 times louder than normal, and I find this extremely helpful. I'm definitely going to, in the 10-point system, run Awareness and Dead Silence some. I really like the third tier of perks. I think it's definitely one of the best tiers, if not the best tier. Well, that's my opinion, but anyway. We're going to move on to the 10-point system. The 10-point system is pretty confusing, so I'm going to try to explain this as best to my ability, but I don't think I can explain it perfectly. I researched this a ton, and it still confuses me. So, you can have 10 points total, and you can use a weapon. One weapon, like in this video, the Commando, would be 1 point. Then one attachment on it, like in this video, the Silencer, would be 2 points. And then for a secondary, like the crossbow, that'd be 3 points. And then for attachment on that secondary, like the crossbow, like the tri-head or something like that, I heard something about that attachment, would be a 4th point. And then 5th, 6th, and 7th points go to your perks. And then for 8th and 9th points, you need a lethal and tactical grenade. And then you have a 10th point for a wild card to spend on whatever you want. And you can have up to 3 wild cards, say, if you don't want a secondary. I'm not sure if you don't have to have a secondary, but I could find that extremely helpful if I didn't have to have a secondary all the time. You can have up to 3 wild cards, and they go as the following. They allow you to equip a 3rd attachment to your primary. You can use 2 points on 2 attachments for your primary, or you can use 0 points for 0 attachments on your primary. And then this allows you to put a 3rd attachment on your primary, which could be helpful. Not sure there's that many try perks or attachments I would want on my primary. And then next is Secondary Gunfighter. It allows you to equip a 2nd attachment to your weapon. or your secondary weapon, excuse me. So for pistols, you could maybe have like silencer and dual wielding. I don't know. I definitely won't be using this one. I hardly ever use my secondary, and I don't think I'll ever need to have a second attachment on it. And next off, we have overkill. This allows you to use your primary weapon as a secondary weapon. So this is just like overkill from all the other games. You could have, you know, commando AK-47. That'd be pretty helpful. And then perk 1 greed allows you to choose 1 extra perk from the perks 1 slot, pretty self-explanatory. Then perk 2 greed and perk 3 greed. Those are pretty self-explanatory too. Then the next one is danger close. But no, don't worry, it doesn't make explosives overpowered like it did in Modern Warfare 2. It allows you to have a second lethal equipment, so you can have like 2 throwing knives or 2 semtexes. I would love this if you could just have 2 throwing knives and just go around boom boom. And then next is tactician. So for example, in Modern Warfare 3, this allows you to have 2 tactical grenades instead of 1 lethal and 1 tactical grenade. Therefore, you could have a scrambler and something like a portable radar. This could be pretty helpful. But anyway, that's just my overview. Sorry if I didn't do the absolute best job explaining it. I tried. I researched it a long time, and I had a really hard time finding this stuff. And like, I didn't have a hard time finding it as much as I had a hard time understanding it. But anyway, you have 10 points. 1 point goes to your primary, then you attachment costs a point, then each perk costs a point, and so on and so forth. So this has been the Shadow Boom here, and thanks for watching. Make sure to rate, comment, and subscribe.